I call the honourable member Jan Logie. Tēnā koe, Ms Logie.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. And I rise to offer the Green Party support for this Statutes Amendment Bill and would like to talk particularly to the recently tabled SOP in the name of Lewis Wall to amend the 21(1)(a) of the Human Rights Act to make sure that it includes undersex gender identity and recognise that this is a very minor amendment that will confirm our common understanding of the law as it is at the moment. Currently, in the Human Rights Act, it prohibits discrimination on the grounds of sex and clarifies that pregnancy and childbirth fall within the gambit of sex. The Human Rights Commission practice as if gender identity also falls under that definition of sex. As we've heard, the Minister has spoken internationally, confirming her understanding that gender identity falls under the understanding of sex as a grounds for prohibited discrimination. Further, the Solicitor General has given a legal opinion back in 2006 offering the same interpretation. So this SOP would be a very minor amendment consistent with government policy and what I believe is our shared understanding of the world. I do want to just talk a little bit though about why it's important. I think the internationally groundbreaking report To Be Who I Am that was commissioned in 2006 by the Human Rights Commission gives us a very good steer about why this is important. Because this was a report evolved out of a very long consultation with transgender communities within New Zealand. So that was with Wakawahine, Whaawhine, Whakaleitai, Akawahine, and many different queens and queer people in this country about their experience of living in New Zealand. And what they found through that consultation with the levels of discrimination that these different communities experience is really extreme. In fact, I think they described some of the stories that they saw that, as the report repeatedly demonstrates, trans people have had to triumph over severe, sometimes heartbreaking adversities. Being trans is not a lifestyle choice. Rather, it's a core part of a person's identity. And what they found out through this consultation is that people are experiencing discrimination in our schools, in our educational institutions, in our workplaces, in accessing pretty much most services in New Zealand. And the Human Rights Commission will respond to complaints that people make, but people need to know that they can make those complaints. And clarifying this law and putting it on paper that we recognise them is an important step in that process of enabling people to make complaints and to be able to protect their human rights in this country. The different trans communities are numerically very small, and so it's very hard for them to get to fight those battles publicly. There aren't many of them to do that. So it does fall on us, I think, as political leaders to speak on their behalf when we can and to make sure that our laws actually provide the leadership and open up the spaces for them to be able to claim their human rights and help us on that journey as a country to becoming totally inclusive and embracing of our differences. So on that note, happy to be supporting this bill, in particular the SOP in the name of Lewis Wall. Kia ora.
I call Colin King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. A very interesting